Are you ready to purchase your first home? The first step is getting with a reputable realtor. So the first step in purchasing your first home is finding a realtor who can be your guide, right? Getting the right realtor who's knowledgeable about the area, has had experience selling lots of different homes to first-time home buyers. They know the steps, they know the secrets. They're there to walk alongside you and guide you through the entire process. So this isn't as scary as it seems. Make sure you're having a buyer consultation with your realtor. A great realtor is going to sit down or meet with you for a coffee and go over everything you're looking for a home to make sure that they hit all the key top points, right? So like if a garage is a must for you, you must have a master bedroom with a dedicated bathroom. If you must have a backyard that's fenced for your dogs to play, you know, those are like non-negotiables, we like to call them, right? But everything else, you need to have an open mind about, you know, you're not gonna get everything you're looking for in a home purchase, right? I tell all of our clients and our agents, if you get 75% of what you're looking for in a home, that's a win. Because guess what? I've had clients build homes from scratch. By the time they get done with it, they move in and they go, I wish I would have put the door over here. I wish I would have put this light switch over here. We should have opened up this wall a little bit more and had a little bit bigger kitchen. Guess what? You're down to 75%, even on a brand new house. So you might as well get the area that you want and be able to make some of those changes that you want. And then that way you've got exactly what you want. One of the things I always tell my agents and I've told my clients in the past is, you know, this is a scary process for anybody buying a home for the first time. But what I tell my clients is, you're not allowed to worry until I tell you you can worry. And what do I mean by that? It's my job to take on all of the worry and I'll make sure all the paperwork's done and all the timelines and everything's met so that the client can focus on their life and what they have to do. It's my job to remove all of that heavy lifting off of the buyer's plate. After you've picked a trusted realtor, the next step is getting pre-qualified or pre-approved for the loan, right? And my recommendation is take the recommendation from the realtor you're working with. Reason for that is they have relationships, right? They work with some of the same lenders over and over again, and there's a reason for it because that lender is trusted and they are the one who's going to help you get financing. So sticking with somebody that your realtor recommends is going to make the process a lot easier, right? And most of the time, all of our trusted lenders, we've chosen them specifically because we know they have our client's best interest at heart and that they're gonna make the process as seamless and as easy as possible for our clients. The main importance of getting pre-qualified is you wanna make sure what you can afford. And if you go push the button and all of a sudden next thing you know, you got this online lender telling you you're pre-qualified for 500 grand because you don't have no debt and all this stuff, who gives a shit what you're pre-qualified for? It's based on what you're comfortable with on your payment, right? I'm pre-qualified. I could buy a $5 million house if I wanted, but guess what? My payment's gonna be $25,000 a month, right? Do I want that? Absolutely not. You need to get with a lender who's going to break that down and base it off of what you're comfortable with as far as your budget goes and what you want to pay on a monthly basis. Pre-qualification, the top end pre-qualification number doesn't mean shit. I tell my clients, what do you want your payment to be? And we work it backwards, right? Okay, if you want your payment to be XYZ and the interest rate's XYZ, well, guess what? This is how much home we can afford. Now, all of a sudden, if that number that you can afford isn't in line with what your expectations were, like let's say all of a sudden you're only pre-qualified, you want your payment to be $1,000, well, that means we're pre-qualified for 150 grand and all that gets you is a piece of land. Well, we got to go back to the drawing board and your monthly payment may be higher than you actually want it to be to get where you want to be, what neighborhood you want to be in, how many bedrooms you want. But we reverse engineer it. That way you're comfortable with your monthly mortgage payment. Another reason you want to stick with a recommendation possibly from your realtor when you're choosing a mortgage company is, I've seen a lot over the last couple years, a lot of sellers are countering your initial offer because they're not comfortable with that lender. So think about it this way. You're pre-qualified with XYZ lender and you put an offer in on a property, well, that listing agent's working in the best interest of that seller. And if they've never heard of your mortgage company, like it's very shoddy looking, like you don't even have a full pre-qual letter, you just got some email from some john@gmail.com, like it's not even from a company email address, like that's gonna throw up a red flag in that listing agent's mind, and they're gonna probably advise their seller, hey, the offer's good, but I've never heard of this lender. I don't know who they are. The likelihood of us getting closing, the likelihood of us getting to closing is probably very slim because we've never heard of these people. So sticking with somebody that your agent that's representing you recommends is gonna give you the best chance of getting your offer accepted. If you've decided that you want a condo or a townhouse that has an HOA, you need to make sure that you take that into consideration based off where you want your monthly payment to be. So if there's an HOA for $200 a month, right, that needs to be factored in your decision making, because if all of a sudden you get under contract and you don't realize there's an HOA and that's $200 a month more on top of what your monthly payment is, that all needs to be taken into consideration when choosing a property. If you miss the HOA dues when you're choosing a property, you know, it could happen to where you get under contract and next thing you know, you get a little bit further down in the mortgage process and you may not qualify for that property because you didn't factor in that HOA dues on a monthly basis. So when it's time to put an offer in and you found the one, don't lowball. If you don't want to lose the house, then don't lowball an offer and try to think you're gonna convince the seller to take less than the home is actually worth. Make sure your agent is doing the comps on the property to make sure it's priced right for the area. And if it is priced right, don't be afraid to give that seller what they're asking for, because I've had clients that literally lost properties over $5,000. And guess what? I had to help them. I had to hear about it for the next month while working with them going, man, I wish we would have just paid $5,000 more. I wish we would have just paid the $5,000 and we could have got the house we really wanted over in XYZ neighborhood, right? It happens more times than you could think that buyers out home searching, homes sitting on the market for 30 days. Oh, guess what? It's been on the market 30 days. We can lowball and we can come in 20 grand low and just, get the seller to come down on price. Next thing you know, another agent, another buyer slips right in there and you're in multiple offers before you know it. And because you tried to come off the price, they decide to go with somebody else who was a little bit more aggressive in their initial offer because they seemed more legit, right? Sellers are, a lot of times in the market we're in right now, sellers will go with the best offer if somebody puts a very solid offer in first and not even go multiple offers. Don't even look at that other guy because guess what? They feel like they're unreasonable. Like they're not gonna be any more reasonable once they get under contract because they tried to lowball them on the front end. So I actually had a conversation with one of my agents yesterday. I said, do you really want to lose the house over $5,000? Does your client not like it that much? And no, they love it. Okay, well then explain to them the risk they're taking by not offering full price on a property that is gonna appraise.